When you move to a new country, especially from the diaspora, the first thing that comes to your mind is, I want to know about the political situation of that country. I want to know if they are developing. I want to know if there's peace. And talking of developing, most of the African countries really are known as developing countries, although in actual fact, some of our countries unfortunately are regressing. They used to be great and things have turned worse. Okay, so as you can see from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about my country, Botswana. I just relocated back to the country about is it 5 months ago or 6 months ago now? It's been a while, and yeah, so far I have been very impressed. If you are somebody who knows anything about Africa, you know that Botswana is known as one of the most peaceful countries. It's known for peace. As for development, we don't know much about it, but I'm going to be talking about a few things that I have observed over the last 6 months. So when I moved, 2 weeks after I had moved, President Duma Boko was elected, and he happens to be from a completely new party called UDC. The UDC has been in existence for a few years. It's a coalition of different opposition parties, but it's been in existence for a few years. And before that, Botswana was governed by the BDP for over 50 years. I mean, ever since we got independence, we had one party ruling, the Botswana Democratic Party. Up to this point, Botswana has done incredibly in terms of their education, free education, in terms of free healthcare, in terms of developing, even infrastructure and stuff like that, and maintaining peace. We had done incredibly well in that department, and still there were some things, or there are still a lot of things that needs to be corrected. But ever since Duma Boko had became president, I am so happy, okay? I am happy about the things that he has done so far, and I'm looking forward and excited to see what the UDC has in store for the people of Botswana. The first thing that excited me now was the fact that there has been a lot of people working in the police department, for example, working as a term. These people were named as the special constables, and they have been making, when they started, I think about 2,000 pula, or which is actually was back then 200 US dollars. Imagine living on 200 US dollars. I think the salaries were improved up to 5,000 pula, which is about 400 US dollars, or maybe even less, 300 and something US dollars. Imagine having to live on 300 USD. In this economy, things are super duper expensive, not just in Botswana, but all over the world. Food prices have gone up, accommodation prices have gone up, and these people have been living on those salaries, like 300 US dollars for years, and I'm talking about over 20 years. Because I remember when the special constable thing first started, it's almost, actually, I don't know if it's 20 years ago. Yes, it is exactly, if not a little bit more than 20 years ago, when they started the program, where they hired a lot of young people. They were not taken to police college, but they were working in the police. They have learned how to work as the constables who have been to police college. They've learned the job on the job, and they're pretty much doing the same job that constables are doing, but they earn close to nothing. And they're also not employed permanently, and they're not pensionable, meaning that when they retire, or if they were to retire while still doing this special constable thing, there is nothing for them. They do get gratuity every 2 years, but they have no pension, they can't get loans to build their houses, their homes. And most of these people, I have a relative who has been in the special constable thingy for way too long, and she was telling me that they have another colleague who's 57 years, and just now the new president or the new party have decided that, okay, all of you are going to police college, and all of you are going to be finally employed as the police, as constables in the police department, and you're going to be earning what you deserve. With doing the same amount of job, you've been earning less, and finally you get to get a mortgage for your house if you want to build a house and use mortgage. You get to take your kids to better schools if you so wish. You get to just live a decent life, and I feel like these people are well deserving. They have done this, job for so long with nothing, and I am so thankful and so grateful to the president Duma Boko to finally decide that, you know what, you guys, things are going to be different for you. You are now going to be permanently employed. Exciting, exciting, exciting. And then to not just put that away as if it's something minor. I am happy. That is one of the things I'm very happy about. And then we have old age pension. Our people who are older, some of them had never worked, some of them are in abject poverty. You find that these grandparents are taking care of their grandkids. Sometimes, the parents of their grandkids and the parents of the kids have passed away, and the grandparents are left, having to take care of kids who are orphans to get some food and some stuff, or take care of the kids whose parents unfortunately are unemployed, because there is so much unemployment still in our country. There is an issue that I do believe that the new president is going to be working on, or the new government is going to be working on, because they have done a lot in a short space of time, in 6 months. So yeah, so the old age pension people are getting from, I think it was 600 or 800 pula, I'm not too sure, which is roughly $60. Yeah, $60. They went from that to, is it $60 to over $100? Yeah, they went from that to maybe 100 and something US. 1,400 pulos in 1,800. I don't know the figure quite well, but I know that it's over 1,000. That's more than $100, maybe 120, 130 USD, which is quite something. I mean, from that you can buy some groceries in Botswana. That's enough to buy some groceries, especially if you're an older person and you're staying alone. That's enough to at least feed you for the month. And sometimes that's what people need. Sometimes that's all they need. Not all they need, but it goes a long way. That's what I'm trying to say. It goes a long way, because you find that some people are living alone. They don't have any child taking care of them, because here in Africa, most parents or most older people basically depend on their kids to take care of them. So imagine you're working as a special constable or as an intern for 10 years or 20 years. You're making $200, and you're supposed to take care of your parents with that. Take care of yourself and then take care of your parents. So I think in this regard also, the government has done incredibly well increasing the pension of young people. By the way, nobody paid me to say these things, okay? Nobody paid me to say these things, but I'm just saying that as somebody who's been away from the country for over 16 years, I'm just like, I am pleased with the new government, and I am happy about what they're doing so far. There's still a lot to be done, but in 6 months, this is a lot. And then finally, one thing that I know that the president has been working on is a new housing scheme called Bono housing. And I hear that people with lower salaries down to 4,000, which is like $100, will be able to get these houses, live in them, pay rent, and then by paying rent, they end up owning. That is how they will do that. And then also, of course, they do have a lot of, in that particular scheme, they do have a lot of ways in which they will help people to end up owning their own houses, be it mortgage, helping them with the mortgage, be it renting to own, which I think is incredible, especially because people are already renting, especially low-income people. They're already renting, they're living in rented accommodations because they cannot afford to build, especially in the city, and then they will end up just, going back to the villages with almost nothing. By the time they retire, by the time they're not working anymore, you end up going home, back to your home village with no house, because you were literally just living from hand to mouth, being able to pay rent and then able to buy food, and then you're left with nothing. So this housing scheme for low-income people, or even for middle-income people, or for everyone, I think it is amazing, because everyone will have their own house finally, people will be able to afford stuff they couldn't afford before. So that's great. And I do know that he's working a lot in the schools as well, encouraging technology and stuff in our schools, which is something that I know that we are left behind as Africans when it comes to technology. So to be able to introduce technology in schools and encourage kids to be in tech, that's amazing. Okay, that is amazing, because we are lagging behind when it comes to technology, and the world is now moving forward when it comes to that, and we're still like, we've been behind a lot. And I do know that our country, especially I think I have, in my last video I spoke about being unemployed and stuff like that, because I was not registered. And I was just told last week that, hey, you need to wait a few more weeks because our computers are not working, this is not working. So I feel like when it comes to improving our services, we're still lagging behind. Oh yes, and then another thing, oh my God, I almost forgot this. I do know, and I heard from the last conversations that they were having recently, that they are going to be working on hospitals, basically computerizing everything, the patient information and all of that. It has been done before. We have had, because I've worked in the healthcare system in Botswana before for about 3 years. That has been done. We've tried a bit, but I feel like we're not yet there, right? We're not yet there when it comes to putting everything on the computer. So, and also the systems connecting the public and the private healthcare systems when it comes to patient care, we have not done that completely. It's two separate things. So I do know that he's working on that as well. I hear them talking about women's health as well. I am an obstetrician and gynecologist. Simply, I'm just a gynecologist. So that was also exciting for me, that they are caring about women's health and they want to make a lot of improvements when it comes to the health of women in this country. And I am excited and I'm hopeful more than anything, because coming home, obviously when you're moving from the West, you meet so many hurdles. And for me, especially because I just got home and I went into my building project, there was a lot of hurdles, and it can get a bit discouraging, you know what I mean? So I am happy and I'm hopeful and I'm excited about our country, what is going on currently, and the future of our children. I don't have any kids, but I have nephews and nieces, so I'm excited to see what kind of country they are going to grow up in, and what kind of opportunities await them here in their own country, in their own motherland, in their own home, and that they hopefully will not have to, migrate like I had to study and to further my education after studying medicine, to specialize and stuff. Obviously they have started a lot of programs now in Botswana as far as training is concerned, but I'm excited to see what our kids are going to grow up in, the kind of country that our kids are going to grow up in, with tech being introduced in schools, them, being given iPads, as that's what he is looking forward to do. He is somebody who is very much into education, and I do know that he is an advocate. He's a Harvard-educated lawyer, so he is very much into education and improving the education standards in our country, and that is one area that he has not ignored at all. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy, and I'm just excited about what this new government is going to be doing. And I would love to contribute as well as a Botswana. I know that it's not just the job of the politicians to improve our lives and to fix stuff here. It is our job as well as the locals, and I am looking forward to also contributing. Now that I'm registered, I'm looking forward to contributing and also making some changes in my country, and being not just somebody who is looking in from the outside, but participating and aiding to the development and the betterment of my country. If you've gotten up to this point, thank you so much for watching. And if any one of you wants to visit Botswana, I will be available. Hit me up, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's become one happy family as I walk this journey of adapting back to my country and just getting into the culture, the systems and everything. And